This might sound like a little bit of a rant or sound like racism or whatever you want to call it, but it's just to the point that I'm fed up. I don't know if anybody else feels this way or anybody sees the way that you see it, because you don't know how to interpret a lot of things that are going on in America right now, or just in the world. I mean, I don't live in other countries, but I imagine it's similar to this way over in the UK, over in Europe, and different things like that. But I've been, working on my just self and like trying to, stop self-destructing behaviors, work on the trauma and stuff I have. And I drive Uber and Lyft, and I've been deactivated now for over 2 weeks, partially due to a shooting I was involved in, and then some reports on my drivers, or my DMV report, that aren't my fault. I had some, hit by a drunk driver, and a couple of accident stuff that weren't my fault. And so that's my first problem, is coming to this conclusion that you can't ever contact. If you have an issue with something, it's very hard to get in contact with anybody but AI or scripted responses or employees that do not speak English, or English isn't their first language. And listen, before all people jump my shit and all this kind of stuff, I'm all about someone trying to make a living, having a decent shot at bettering their life and everything. But when it starts affecting the citizens of certain of their country, I think it's bullshit. This whole thing is fucking bullshit. The whole Lyft and Uber, I enjoy driving Lyft and Uber, and people criticize you and stuff and say, "Oh, that's not a full-time job. You need to go get a real job. You need to, I've owned businesses. I've done an array of things in my life, and while Uber and Lyft is frustrating, I like the flexibility. You can make decent money with it. I like interacting with most of the people, and overall the flexibility, I love it. I can travel. I can do it in mostly any state I want to. I can take trips, and I like it. But it's changed a lot over the years, and have this due to this immigration and stuff, because I don't understand how you can work, how you can live in a country and you cannot speak the language. I don't fucking get that, and I think it's completely wrong. I don't know how many times I've been picked up by an Uber driver, and I get in, and they say hi, and they sound like they can speak English, and you start talking to us, ask them some questions, and I don't speak English. And I'm like, how in the fuck do you pass your driver's test? How do you pass the thing to apply for Uber? How do you read road signs? How do you read speed limits? How do you, and everything? And if you've ever driven with an Uber driver that's not from this country, you'll see how they drive. It's sporadic. They can't read signs. They're trying to look at the map. It's a very scary situation. And I've had many passengers tell me, like, what if there's a medical emergency and something happens and the person driving, the driver can't speak English? What do you do then? You can't communicate with them what's going on. Like the drive-by shooting I was in with Lyft. What if it was an immigrant, or I know whatever it is, picked them up and they couldn't speak English, and we pull up to a stoplight, and this dude empties a fucking clip into my car, kills my passenger. What would they do if it was a foreign person in there? How would they call and communicate with 911 to tell where they're at? Listen to just the whole situation. I would be terrified if I've been to different countries. I've been down to, Jamaica, Colombia. I've been in Latin America, South America. I've been to a lot of different countries, and I couldn't imagine working down in like Costa Rica as an Uber driver, or deep in Colombia where I was visiting a friend down there and taking Uber to the airport, and I'm driving the person and I can't speak Spanish. I would be terrified. But I get people are trying to better their lives and stuff like this, but I'm in Cincinnati, and I swear to God, you go up north of Cincinnati here and you feel like you're in a different fucking country. I mean, you go into the Walmart, you go into anywhere up there, it's just all foreign people from Uzbekistan or some shit. They can't speak English. I mean, they're nice and everything, but that affects the American. It affects the American culture. I don't know what words I'm looking for. It's just frustrating, because there's a ton of Americans that are lazy. Okay, I get that, but they're taking American jobs and then you got these corporations that take advantage of the immigrants here, and they pay them a lot less than they would Americans, and they screw them over. I don't know how many truck drivers I picked up. I mean, I think they're cracking down now on the CDLs, but these guys can't speak English. I picked this one up from Afghanistan a few months back, and he got in and he couldn't speak hardly any English. He told me his English is bad, and he's like, "Can you help me?" I'm like, "Help you with what?" He said, "Well, this trucking company owed him $3,000, okay, and the guy wasn't paying him. He gave us 2 weeks notice. He got another job, and he was trying to and the guy won't pay him. He won't answer his phone. The business doors are locked, and the company still functioning because I was there. But he's like, how can I get my money? And I'm like, well, you can call the police. He said he can't call the police. He calls the police, they'll send him back to Afghanistan. And I told him, I said, maybe you should go back to Afghanistan because things in America aren't that great. But it's great here because you can make American dollar and you can send it back to that country, and you can be very wealthy with an American dollar in like a third world country. I loved Colombia. I loved Costa Rica. I even loved when I was in New Zealand because the dollar, so there's two times the amount on the dollar, and the prices are better there. But Colombia was epic. I mean, you get a decent meal for like $2, hotel for $5, and I mean, it's not like the Ritz Carlton, but it was good enough for me. And, and then you have all this black fatigue shit, and then you have just the media. I mean, some of this stuff. I mean, I know about black fatigue. Okay, I know there's a difference between the N word and a black person, and you pick up a very well-rounded, self-aware, smart black person, they will agree with everything I say. I have many conversations with black people that do not understand that side of their race. That's like, just straighten the fuck up, quit acting like animals. And then the media, social media and everything will push it down your throat. So you don't know if is it really that bad or is it that bad? But it's pretty bad because I stay out of the west side of Cincinnati. Anywhere where those type of people congregate, I don't go near them. I don't pick them up anymore. And it's just because, two, with the shooting, like, I'm traumatized. I have some PTSD from that shit. No shit. I don't know if you've ever been like in arm's length of a semi-automatic 45 going off and just blasting holes and hearing them whip by your ears and shit like that. But now I was always kind of hesitant about picking people up in certain areas and taking them to certain areas and stuff. But now it's off limit. I let my guard down too much because it is a big risk driving Uber, and you got to be very selective on where you pick up and who you pick up. Because I was always worried about someone throwing up in my car. I never dreamt I'd be in a drive-by shooting, having shot and killed in my car. I never dreamt that. It was like a fucking horror movie I was in because it happened at 3 a.m. in downtown Cincinnati. And it was just something that was like surreal at the moment because it was just unreal. And the whole black fatigue thing, I mean, and the thing is, the people like that are the ones that are reproducing, and then they're raised by these individuals, and they're raised like they're victims and all this shit. I mean, everybody in the United States right now is a victim. Besides, if you're one of the 1 or 3% of population that's fairly wealthy, and if you're one of the wealthier ones, you probably don't see as much as you would if you're middle class or lower class. But the middle class is pretty much gone right now. It's not. It doesn't even really exist. And a lot of people are afraid to speak out like I'm doing now because if you Reddit is a fucking cesspool. I've never went on Reddit in my life, but I went down that rabbit hole like the last 6 months, and I've had 3 accounts banned from there, all for just talking like this. You cannot. They say, oh, it's racism or it's all this shit, but if you read it, it's the most miserable fucking people on there. And the thing is, and you get sucked into it. I don't know if it's bots that spew this garbage they do, or if it's actual people that actually think this way. But I imagine there are many people that are just fucking out of their mind, and I can see some of the people that are, as most people on these internet message boards are arguing with each other and shit. It's like that's the craziest of society right there. And the dumbest fucking questions people ask in the Cincinnati forum here are just dumb shit that you could easily Google. I just don't understand the common sense in America is gone. It really is gone. It's like people can't think for themselves anymore. Any first thought they had to go to social media, it's kind of like I'm doing right now, but it's just like I'm venting. I'm just like, fuck, I'm sick of it. And I just wish there was a group of people that would just come out. And then the data centers too. I mean, this AI bullshit. But guess what? They got you by the balls because everybody uses AI. But I deleted fucking ChatGPT today. I'm like, fuck you. I'm done with that. After I watched this, I don't know if you know there's the black twin brothers, the Hodge twins on I think that's their name on YouTube, and they do the clips, and they're funny as shit. And they're black, and they understand the black fatigue and everything. And then there's the other side of the black people that call them racist, and they're not. They just have common sense. But they had a girl on there, single mother, down in Georgia. Georgia Power is about to take her house because she's on the line of a grid that they need more power for this data center they're putting in. This is like generations. This house has been in her family, and now they're going to come in and just I forget what the law is. The enchant. I forget whatever law it is, but gives them the right to come in and say, okay, you got to go. It's our property now, and that's what it's coming to. We are slowly but surely having our rights stripped away. They filter us here on YouTube. They censor us on any form of social media where you want to just have an opinion. I really think it's bots that cause shit, because I don't care if you're the most calm person. If you just post something of common sense, there's always someone there to attack it. And it's not even meant to be attacked. Like, what the fuck are you attacking? It's an opinion of mine. How can you attack someone's opinion if they're not being like an asshole about it? So then I got kicked off of there, and I was like, fuck Reddit. But I liked it because it had the Uber and Lyft form. But then I get sucked down the rabbit hole of checking other places and stuff. And I just ask simple questions about something. Is, oh, you went against the sub forest rules and you're banned from here, you're banned from there, you're banned from this. I mean, I get it. I'm not censored by any means. I say what I mean. I say what I want to, what I mean. Sometimes I don't think when I speak, and it just comes out. Comes out in my writings. I'm a writer. But there's only one time I've had one of my writings censored and deleted on media, or two times they deleted two of my articles, and both of them were on the vaccine. But they did let my black fatigue article stand and stuff. But of course, they bury you and they shadow ban you, and you don't get any views and all this kind of shit. But it's just, there's no fixing to it. America is screwed. It is the collapse. I wouldn't say an empire. It's weird to look at it as an empire, but it is. And then people that's having kids nowadays, I'm like, why in the fuck would anybody want to bring a kid into this world? Don't think about the kid. Stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about the societal conditioning. Stop thinking about how you were raised. Stop thinking about what you're brainwashed with, that you got to get married, you got to have kids, you got to have a retirement, you got to get a career, you got to work from some fucking billionaire sucking your soul, just giving you enough to skirt by to hopefully you make it to 70 years old so you can retire and not die within the 5 years of retirement to somewhat enjoy life. But in the next 20 years, America is going to be unrecognizable, which I was just talking to my mom today, and I said, were things this bad back in the 80s and stuff when I was a kid growing up? Because we would run around with mostly black and white was pretty much it. There wasn't all these different, and I'm sick of this diversity shit. Yeah, some diversity, but we're in America, for Christ's sakes. I mean, it just fucking irks me to no end. And it's not that it's like, I was talking to another, a Muslim guy I picked up actually, and he was even telling me, he's like, yeah, he goes, these people from, he said I forget what country he was from. I forget, some part of Africa or something, but he was telling me that they come here and they think they can bring their third world beliefs and lifestyle to America and change it. And he's like, you don't do that. You come in, you abide by their rules, you live by their state, you do all this, but you can't, because we're in this stupid like Democratic Republican parties that fucking fight and get people bickering back and forth and pick sides, and one's trying to ruin the other. One has, and America's not even ran by America. I don't know who the fuck runs it. They say Israel, they say China. I don't know who runs it, but whoever's running it, it's not Trump. I don't think it is. They got shit on him, I think, from the Epstein files and stuff. So he's just doing what he's told, and he just loves the power and attention and all this narcissistic bullshit he has. And I'm just fed up. And I've had a lot of times, and this is no wonder I was drinking. I mean, I get that I have my own shit that I'm dealing with too, but if you have any form of like trauma or mental health shit you're trying to work through, and you have the slightest bit, you don't need that much of awareness, just some awareness and a lot of common sense, you will look at shit and it will just piss you off, because our hands are tied. We can't do anything. There's nothing we can do. I mean, they say, oh yeah, well then boycott this. I'm like, I hate fucking Amazon. I hate them. But you know what? They got you because it's convenient. You can't go to these mom and pop shops because they got to charge an arm and a leg. But then to charge an arm and a leg, they're selling to the people that don't make a lot of money, that can't afford to do that, to try to like just take the business away from the Amazons and the Walmarts and the big corporate world. It's, the whole world is just ran by the one percenters, and they don't give a shit about us. And it's people that are fucking clueless that are fighting for these assholes, that are sticking up for their policies and voting for them. And it's like, nobody's going to fix you. No one's going to help you. No one's going to save you. They're all about themselves. I don't give a shit what they say. A prime example is with Trump. Everything he said when he came in office, he just done the exact fucking opposite, which I thought he was the best. I think he would have been better than the alternative, but who knows? I mean, it just seems, it's just so fucking frustrating. And it's almost makes me want to drink again just to drown out and just forget about shit. But when you have time to actually sit by yourself and think about things and just analyze what's going on around you, and get out in public and meet people and talk to people and go to certain diverse areas that they call it, and just see the living conditions and see how these people act, and you will just be like, what the fuck? But if you live in a bubble and you're in your $500,000 house neighborhood, and you only go to your local coffee shop with all the other fucking rich soccer moms with their fake ass bullshit, superficial personalities and all that kind of shit, then yeah, you won't notice what's going on. You'll put your Black Lives Matters in your fucking yard, and you'll try to like act like you're supportive of all the cruelty to like the immigrants and shit that they say is going on, and then you'll feel this fake sense of like pleasure for yourself, like I'm a good person. Some of this is fake, and once you're aware of this shit, you can see the fakeness through everybody. Nobody's real anymore. In 10 seconds, I can talk to somebody in my car and just know if they're an authentic person or they're some brainwashed fucking idiot, and that's a majority of them brainwashed. Picked a lady up in St. Louis. I was driving there one month, and I pick her up and I was telling her what I did. I said, yeah, I'm on my way to Arizona. I just travel around and I stop in certain areas I like, sightsee, meet some people, try the food and stuff and do some hiking and drive around. She's like, wow, that must be nice. We can't do that. I'm like, who's we? She's like, black people, we can't go out and just travel anywhere. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We're not back in the 1800s. Sure you can. I have black friends that travel. I know black Uber drivers that go and drive. I mean, definitely you can go anywhere you want to go. And I understand there are some racist towns, but there's racist places for white people too. I'm not going to go over here on the west side of Cincinnati and just go for a meander down the fucking street at whatever time. I'm not going to do it. I mean, there's some places you just don't go. There's racism in every race. It ain't just blacks. But if you look at the fucking social media and you listen to all the Democratic Party, poor fucking black people, so oppressed, so they're victims, they're this. They have more rights and more like access to different government funding and different things to do than the white person, which I don't understand. When I owned a business, I had great credit. When I bought a business, I wanted just a $20,000 loan to help with some upgrades and stuff like that. I went to the Small Business Association. I even had a co-signer. Nope. They told me, nope, you don't qualify. Even though I had $100,000 in the bank, they still wouldn't. I still didn't qualify. But somehow, fucking an Indian or whatever person comes from another country, boom, here you go. Here's a gas station. Boom, here's a motel. Boom, here's this, here's that. And they just give fucking loans to these people, and they pass it down through the generations of family. They train them. They go to another one, So it's just fucking frustrating. And it's like, I want to leave this country, but where am I going to go? It's like this everywhere. The only place I think about going, really consider, is maybe Southeast Asia. But the people, if a white older man goes over there like a fucking pervert, you're going over this for the sex and shit, that's the least of, no. I'm past all that shit. Okay, I'm just like, I just want somewhere with peace, where people have some kind of sanity and some kind of common sense. Because realistically, I don't think it exists anymore. So if you think this video is crazy, fine, comment. If you agree with me, just give me some support and some morale to say, hey, you're not alone, dude. I understand what you're saying. This may have came off kind of unorganized and everything, but I'm just so fucking frustrated right now. And I know a lot of this shit I've done to myself, the situations I'm in. But the way America is, it doesn't make it easy for you to pull yourself out of things when you try to apply for jobs and stuff, or you're trying to sort something out. You call customer service, and it's a person that can't speak fucking English, or they're reading from a script, or you're an AI and you got to keep typing agent until it finally automatically kicks you to one, or keep hitting zero a number of times on a fucking phone until you get a live speaking person, then you live speaking person, and they can't speak English. And I'm not pissed at the person. I'm just like, I told the one lady, listen, I'm not upset with you, but I can't understand a word you're goddamn. Can you please just transfer me to somebody that I can understand? I understand these people need to make a living. They're trying, but it's just this corruption and this AI and all this shit. I mean, God help us.